Listen, sometimes you're going to want to do things, but you're not going to feel like doing those things. And those things are going to be good for you, but you're just not going to always feel like doing them, right? So sometimes what you have to do is you have to force yourself. Let me say that again. I said you have to force yourself. And let me explain to you why. Let's get into this video.
Welcome to the Get Right with God podcast with Jamar Grimsley, where we're all a work in progress. Nobody has their life all the way together. We're all trying to get right with God.
God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Get Right with God podcast. I'm your host, Jamar Grimsley. And God is good. God is good. God is good. I got to say that God is good. Oh, yes. So I have a word really quick, you guys. And a word it's a good word. I believe it'll help somebody if you would hear, what the Spirit of the Lord wants to speak. Right. So sometimes, child of God, you got to force yourself. Oh, let me say that again. I said sometimes you got to force yourself. And you may say, force myself for what? Sometimes you got to force yourself to get up, right? In the middle of the night when God wakes you up, you got to force yourself to get up and go pray, right? God is not waking you up every night the same time for you to look at the clock at the same time now and go right back to sleep. No, he's not waking you up for you to get up and go to the bathroom and come back to the bed and go back to sleep. He's not waking you up to get to the kitchen and get a snack and go back to sleep. No, he's waking you up because he needs you to pray, child of God. You're not going to feel like doing it. You're just not going to feel like doing it. This is when the tiredness hits your body like never before, right? The tiredness that you feel when God wakes you up is a tiredness that's on another level. It seems like it'll take all that you got, right, to get up. But you can't ignore that, child of God. God is waking you up for a reason. Oh, he's waking you up for a reason. Maybe you got to pray. Maybe God sees that something is going to happen that you don't see. So God needs you to get up and pray, right? Maybe there's an attack coming. So God needs you to get up and pray. You see what I'm saying, you guys? So sometimes you got to just get up, force yourself to get up, and you got to just do it. You got to just do it. Sometimes you got to force yourself to get up and go get that job. Go look out for that job. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to force yourself to get up and go grocery shopping. You ain't going to feel like doing it all the time. Some of you guys got to force yourself to get up and clean your house. You're not going to feel like doing it all the time, right? But you have to sometimes force yourself. Sometimes you just got to force yourself, right? Because the moment you say, oh, well, I'll do it later, or, I can't do it right now, or that's the spirit of procrastination. And it's like the flesh is taking over because you can't control yourself enough to do it when you say you're going to do it, right? Because this flesh wants to control us, you guys. This flesh wants to control us. This flesh wants what it wants when it wants it, and it don't want to hear anything else. If you try to do something that this flesh is not going to be pleased with, this flesh going to fight you back. This flesh going to fight you back. But you got to show that flesh that you are in control and force yourself to do those things that you may not feel like doing. Sometimes you got to force yourself to fast, Do you ever say, oh, I'm going to do a fast, and then it come time and you never do it? And then you do it again. I'm going to do a fast. It come time, you never do it. It come time, you never do it. Like you keep putting it off and putting it off. But no, you just got to force yourself to do it. I've learned that times are never like perfectly convenient for you to do something. You just got to do it. So if you waiting on times to just be right for you, everything is supposed to be set in place and right for you before you do it. No, that's not going to happen. You got to do this thing. You got to do it, right? You got to do it, child of God. Some of you guys got to force yourself to get up and go to the gym. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Some of you guys got to force yourself to stop doing certain things, right? Some of you guys got to force yourself to stop overeating. There's certain things that you got to also force yourself of stop doing it. It goes both ways. Sometimes you got to force yourself to do certain things. Sometimes you got to force yourself not to do certain things. But either way it goes, it's something that's going to be uncomfortable, right? It's going to be uncomfortable to the flesh. Yeah, you don't want to get up at a certain time. Yeah, you enjoy eating middle of the night every night. You enjoy that, right? So it's a sacrifice. You got to force yourself not to do it, though you want to do it. That's how you resist. That's when the Bible talk about resist the devil, right? It's talking about, I want to do this. Like, I want to do this, but I'm going to resist. I'm not going to fall into this thing. I'm going to resist it. I'm not going to fall into it each and every time the devil comes with a thought, put a thought in my mind to do something. I want to do this, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to resist the devil. I'm going to resist the devil. So sometimes you got to resist those urges of whatever. What are those urges that are coming to you? Sometimes you just got to resist those urges, right? You got to force yourself not to do it, though you want to do it, right? Like I say, this flesh wants to be in control, you guys. And like I say, when you try to do something that's not comfortable, this flesh is going to fight you back, right? It's going to give you every excuse in the book not to do it. Sometimes you got to get up and go handle your business. Some of you guys got business that you got to get up and go handle, things you got to do, but it's like you're just not doing it, right? But I'm just saying that you have to force yourself, child of God. You got to force yourself to just get up and do it. Right? Just get up and do it. Just get up and do it. Forget how you feel, because if the enemy can keep you like concerned and worried about how you feel, if you go by these feelings, we'll never do anything. Sometimes you're going to feel like praying. Sometimes you're going to feel like fasting. Sometimes you're going to feel like doing certain things, but sometimes you're not. What about the times when you're not going to feel like praying, right? What about the times when you're not going to feel like fasting, right? What about the times when you're not going to feel like getting up and going to work? Or see what I'm saying? Like, if you just allow these feelings to just take over, it's like, okay, this feeling, you're going to let these feelings just run your life, right? You could be in a relationship with somebody. These feelings, you in love with the person. These are feelings, you feeling, but you know the person ain't good for you. So you're going to go with your feelings. No, we can't operate out of these feelings, you guys. We operate out of these feelings. They are always changing. They unreliable. You cannot trust them. So you have to do what the wise thing is to do. You have to do that thing that you know is best to do, right? So the feelings are going to tell you, don't do this, but you know you need to do this, right? So don't listen to the feelings, because the feelings want to run your life. The feelings, those fleshly feelings, they want to run your life, right? I'm just saying, sometimes you got to force yourself. Force yourself. It's not going to be easy all the time, but you got to force yourself. So what is those things that you know you should be pushing into, right? What are those things that you're not doing that you should be doing, or that thing that you keep procrastinating about, that thing that you're just not doing, child of God? What is that? What is it? Right? Think about it. What is that thing that you need to force yourself to do, or that thing that you need to force yourself to stop doing, right? It's like, I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. I want to eat ice cream at 12 at night, but I'm not going to do it because I know it's not good for me. You see what I'm saying? So you have to do the wise thing versus the thing that's going to like please your flesh. It's like, okay, I know this is not good for me. I'm about to go to sleep, so I want to eat ice cream late night and go to sleep. No. Is that good for you? No. Eat it early if you're going to eat it, you know, but don't eat it and go back to sleep. And some of you guys just keep doing it over and over. Like, anyway, do those things that you don't feel like doing. Do those things that you don't feel like doing. Some of you guys, some of you ladies got to go to the beauty salon, right? But you keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, right? Some of you fellas, I just seen a dreadlocks, and the dreadlocks is frizzy, right? Get up and go get your dreads twisted, you know? Get your hair cut, right? Sometimes we just keep putting it off. Well, I'm going to go next week, you know. I'm going to go next week. Oh, I'm going to just go the week after. Oh, you know, don't wait till it's woofing. You know, don't wait till it's woofing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go do those things that you don't feel like doing. Whatever is good for you to do is good for your life. That's going to help you. That's going to be a little tough to do. Do that. Do that. Don't do the thing that's going to be so comfortable, right? Because again, this flesh just wants what it wants. And like I said, when you try to fight back with this flesh and do something that's not so comfortable to the flesh fights back. But you in control of this flesh. You in control of this flesh. You tell this flesh, okay, I'm not going to eat until 6 p.m. Though I'm hungry, at 4 p.m., I'm ready to eat. But I'm going to be in control. Or are you going to say, okay, yeah, I just can't wait till 6. I just got to eat. And then just eat. Well, you just let the flesh take control. You just let the flesh win, right? So it's like we have to be in control of what it is that we do, you guys. We have to be in control. We are holding the keys, you know. So don't let this flesh run you. And again, you got to force yourself. Force yourself. Force yourself to wait till 6 o'clock. That even show you in control, right? You in control. Some of you guys got to force yourself to stop going to the mall, you know, spending up all your money. You know, what are those things that you got to force yourself to stop doing, right? Those things that you got to force yourself to do. That's going to better your life. You see what I'm saying? Those things that are going to better your life. Some of you guys got to force your way out of a relationship that's hindering you, right? But it's not going to be comfortable. It's like, you know, this person is not good for you, but I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want them to think a certain way about me, or, you know, you want it to be comfortable. You want it to be comfortable, right? Those things that are uncomfortable, that's when change takes place, child of God. That's when change takes place. You know, if everything is always comfortable and it's always something that's just up your alley and it's something that you always want to do, there's no growth going to happen. You see what I'm saying? No growth. But growth and change, they happen when things are uncomfortable, right? And you do that thing, though you don't feel like doing it, you know, though you don't feel like doing it. But I hope this word bless somebody. But yeah, you're going to have to force yourself sometimes. You know, you're not going to feel like reading the Bible. You're not going to feel like it all the time. So what do? You got to force yourself to do it. No matter how sleepy you get, you got to force yourself. Let me tell you what I used to do, you guys. That used to happen. As soon as I open up the Bible, I just start falling asleep. And the sleep is on another level. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The sleep is like, it's the kind of sleep where you can't even keep your eyes open, right? So I had to stand up and read it, you know, because I know that I needed to do it. I didn't feel like doing it, but I needed to do it, right? I needed to do it. It keeps our spiritual man strong. You got to get in that word. You got to pray. You see what I'm saying? You got to fast, but you're just not going to feel like doing it, to be honest, you guys, right? So you got to just force yourself to do certain things. And some of you force yourself to stop doing certain things, you know? So I don't know what those things are that you need to force yourself to do that's going to better your life, or stop yourself or force yourself from stop doing something that's going to better your life, right? So yeah, child of God, you guys be blessed. I thank you for tuning in. This is another episode of Get Right with God. I am your host, Jamar Grimsley. All right, you guys be blessed. Okay, you guys, yeah, really quick. I had a guy come on here yesterday and he shared a testimony, you know. So if anybody got a testimony and you want to share it, you know, if it's something that God has done in your life that's going to bless somebody, you know, feel free to reach out and we will get you on here. You know, you can go look at the videos from yesterday, right? We did the video yesterday, so you could probably get an idea of how it's going to go, right? So, yeah, if you got a powerful testimony, you want to share it, you know, like I say, it's all about glorifying God. This platform is all about glorifying God. So yeah, again, if you want to share it, feel free to reach out. On my website is getrightwithgodministries.com. getrightwithgodministries.com. And when you go to the contact section, there's a place where you can send a message. So just go there and message me and we'll try to set something up. All right. You guys be blessed.